Sparkle is a member of the Masked Fools, and the new 5-star quantum character that follows the path of harmony, and will get released on 2.0 second phase. Hello guys, I am Kato, and in this video we'll break down everything we need to know about Sparkle, including her kit, relics, light cones, best teams, Eidolons, and even her Ascension Materials. Without further ado, let's get to it. Sparkle is a perfect support for hyper-carry teams, especially for teams with high skill point demands. She can increase the team's damage significantly, and she's also a strong contender to be one of the S-tier characters in the game. So let's take a look at her kit first to understand her playstyle. Using her skill, Sparkle will increase the crit damage of an ally by a significant amount based on her crit damage for one turn. Furthermore, she will action forwards the ally by 50%. This skill is the reason why Sparkle getting compared with Bronya a lot. As you can see, both of their skills have so much in common, but what Sparkle can do and Bronya can't is breaking skill points limits. Yes, you heard me right. Sparkle talent will increase the max number of skill points by 2, and whenever an ally consume one skill point, all allies' damage will increase by 3% for 2 turns, and this effect can stack up to 3 times. If Sparkle use her ultimate, she will recover 4 skill points. More than that, she will mark her allies with Cypher. Allies with this mark on them will get an increase for her talent damage buff by 10% per stack at talent level 10. This buff will last for 2 turns. Sparkle fits so well in skill points hungry teams, since she can provide skill points from her ultimate and talent. But that's not all. Her technique also can recover skill points. It gives stealth status to all allies for 20 seconds. Entering a battle during this period will immediately recover 3 skill points. So in few words, what Sparkle can do is that she gives a straight crit damage buff to one ally and advances their action. Also, she gives a damage buff to the entire team with her talent depending on the number of skill points used by allies. The only downside about her kit is that her buff up times are pretty low, so you will need to fine-tune your team's speed to get the best out of her buffs. Due to her low buff uptimes, you won't be using her basic attacks much, so her ideal turn cycle rotation will have her take action right after your main DPS, allowing her skill to action forward your main DPS, and letting him take action twice. When it comes to leveling up her abilities, we should give priority to the skill and ultimate first, then talent, and lastly basic attack. Though you can keep basic attack at level 1 in order to level up the other traces, since they are more important. Sparkle has few options when it comes to relics and planar ornaments to get the best out of her buffs. Our first pick will be 4-piece traversing hackerspace, as it will give your team a good speed buff after using her ultimate. If you don't have good substats in this relic, then you can use 4-piece musketeer of wild wheat. It's also a good alternative to increase Sparkle's speed. Keep in mind that Sparkle will benefit more from substats than set bonus effects. As for planar ornaments, without doubt the best choice will be Broken Keel, which allows Sparkle to buff the crit damage of all her allies by 10% on top of her skill buff, and we can use Penacony Land of the Dreams ornament set for mono quantum teams to buff the entire team damage by 10%. For Relic's main stats, we need to get her crit damage body, speed feat, HP percentage planar sphere, and energy regeneration link rope. As for substats, we already know that Sparkle buff scales of her crit damage, so stack as much crit damage as possible, then prioritize meeting the 30% effect resistance threshold for using Broken Keel set. We need at least 10% effect resistance on her substats, as we will get 10% from Broken Keel first bonus effect, and another 10% from her traces. Other than that, we can stack speed, energy recharge, HP and defense percentage as needed. But make sure to always keep her speed 1 less than the speed of your team's main DPS. As always, the best light cone to use on Sparkle is going to be her signature light cone Earthly Escapade, which increases her crit damage by 32%. Sparkle also gains a mask at the beginning of the battle for 3 turns. While she has the mask, her allies have their crit rate increased by 10% and crit damage increased by 28%. Moreover, every time Sparkle recovers a skill point, she gains a stack of Radiant Flame, and when she reaches 4 stacks, she gets another mask for 4 turns. Earthly Escapade Light Cone fits perfectly with Sparkle's abilities and enhances them to the next level, increasing her utility in the team. Apart from that, we can also use light cones like Past and Future, Dreamville Adventure, and Carve the Moon, Weave the Clouds. As for mono quantum teams, Planetary Rendezvous can make a great option. Sparkle's best team composition is a mono quantum team, as her Ascension 6 ability specifically increases the quantum damage of all allies by 30%. Her best team will feature Sayla as main DPS, Silver Wolf as support, and Fu Xian as a tank. We can also use her in a team with Danheng and Bibiter Luni as main DPS, and both Ruan Mei and Luocha as supports. As for an F2P team, we can use Chinkei as main DPS, and both Asta and Lynx as supports. Sparkle pairs well with so many other characters like Blade and Jinglu, so it won't be hard to get her a place in your team. Sparkle is a strong character at E0, and her Eidolons make her incredibly stronger, focusing a lot on the effects of her cipher, increasing the amount of buffs it gives, as well as boosting the already existing ones. Her Eidolons are certainly something to watch out for, as Eidolons for Harmony characters are really good in value. Her E1 will extend Cipher Mark for 1 extra turn. More than that, all allies affected by Cipher will have their attack increased by 40%. E2 allows allies to ignore 8% of the enemy target's defense when dealing damage to enemies for each talent stack. E3 and E5 increases the level of Sparkle's skill, ultimate and talent by 2. While E4 will boost ultimate skill point recovery by 1, and talent increases the maximum number of skill points by an additional point. Lastly, her E6 will boost her skill with an additional 30% of her crit damage. Furthermore, the crit damage boost effect applies to all allies currently with Cipher. Sparkle will certainly be an interesting character to add to the Honkai Star Rail roster. Her unique ability to supply the team with skill points, even increasing the maximum amount of SP available in combat, is sure to open up the possibilities to a lot of interesting playstyles, and will surely be a character that you would want to have on your team. If you intend to build her from scratch relying only on the Trailblaze power you get on daily basis, then it will take you more than 2 weeks to do it, so it's better to start farming her materials from this moment. You need this materials to level up Sparkle to level 80, 887,000 credits, 290 Traveler's Guide, 65 Dream Flamer, 15 Tatters of Thought, 15 Fragments of Impression and 15 Shards of Desires. And you need this materials to max level up her traces. 3 million credits, 8 Tracks of Destiny, 12 Past Evil of the Borehole Planet Disaster, 18 Firmament Note, 68 Celestial Section, 139 Heavenly Melody, 41 Tatters of Thought, 56 Fragments of Impression and 58 Shards of Desire. If you found this useful, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.